appreciate you so much. I really do. I didn't even think you would probably call or even see the email, but you got me excited. I was in not a bad mood, but I'm in a way better mood now. So I really appreciate you so much. I got a lot of great advice from you.
Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Welcome back to a new video where today we are going to call a subscriber who sent me an email last night, and I'm going to read it to you. Then we're going to try to call him up and see if I can help him get ready to go buy a new car. So here's what he wrote. Hey, my name is Trip. I was wondering if is there a way to get in touch with you about getting a little advice on a car. I'm trying to come purchase in Florida. I'm in Oklahoma City, by the way. LOL, just want to ask about the add-ons and a few more things. I just know you said don't call because of my doxing thing. Everybody has my phone number apparently, and which I appreciate him following that request. And a few more things. I just know you said don't call and ask those things. Go up there when you're ready to buy and be ready. I'm flying out Tuesday, so please just let me know. I can pay you for your time, and you might get a cool video out of it. So he said it's cool to video. You can email or call me at this number. So looks like he's flying to go purchase a car and make a deal, looking at a Scat. So that's cool. So let's see if we can call him. Hello, is this Trip?
Hey, how's it going?
This is Brad, OC Motivator. What's up, dude?
Hey, how's it going? You doing all right today?
Yeah, I'm doing great, man. I got your email, and you're flying to go buy a car?
Yeah, I'm trying to come down here Tuesday. Did you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I've been watching your videos. I'm planning on flying out to Florida on Tuesday to come look at a Scat Pack at the Farmland dealership. And I've been taking your advice, doing my research and trying to see about the add-ons. And I know the market is kind of weird right now, so I just was like, let me just try to ride them and see. I just kind of need your advice a little bit. I don't want to take too much of your time. Okay, I have bad credit, which I know I'm probably not even going to get the car just from that thing right there. But if I'm going to put 3 to 4, even 5,000 down, do you think that would get me in the car? Or because when I call and ask them this stuff over the phone, they're kind of like, just get here in person and we'll see. We can't really do anything over the phone, which is true. But I'm just wondering, do you think it's worth it if I went down there? Because I live in Oklahoma, so, but the cars down here, they're telling me I need a co-signer. I'm saying, okay, I found one $5,000 cheaper in Florida, so I was thinking just go down there with the $3-4 that I have and try to put it down. But I kind of just wanted to get a little advice. I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of new to this, so I'm just like, hey, I see a guy that's kind of giving out good information. Let me see if I can write them. And I've been watching your videos for like the last couple of weeks. I've seen more of your videos over the not even say the years, over some time. I've seen you pop up, but some just told me like, hey, write the guy and see what he says. I mean, I think you're located in Florida or Orange County, so I'm like, let me just see, or if he's ever been to that dealership, or just kind of see, what's, time the best thing to do or go from there. Because I think I am, like, my mom tells me, if you want to go try, it's only a $300 flight to come down there and to see. But I don't know, I just kind of wanted your advice. Do you think I should go in there and first add about the add-ons, or do I go in there and first I'm going to run my credit and do that first? But when I get to the point where they say, okay, you need a co-signer or you need this and that, but the price of the car is this much, do I go with the add-ons first? Do I ask about, what's my best thing to go with when I walk in there?
Yep. So, no, I'm happy to help, dude. And you mentioned I could probably get a good video out of this, so you don't care that I'm recording this and making a video out of this whole thing, right?
No, not at all.
Right on, dude. Thanks. So, I think a lot of people could benefit. A lot of people in your same situation trying to pull the same thing off. And I do agree with going out of state when you can't find a deal in your state. Go find the deal where you can find the deal. I mean, for $300, you can fly there and drive that sucker back. It's not a horrible drive, too, because you get to drive the cool car. My first biggest concern would only be that your challenged with your credit. Do you know what your FICO score is?
Yeah, I think it's 515.
Yeah, so they're gonna want
I
to
kind of have a I kind of have a cosigner, but I'm kind of there. It's iffy. You know, it's hard to find a
yeah.
cosigner, but I
So
kind of have that. But I'm weighing my options on
yeah,
that.
they're gonna want a bunch of money down, no matter what. Um, they're gonna want a cosigner. Right now, the banks are just, there might have been a time where you could get a loan with that. I mean, it'd just be really horrible interest. But the challenge today is the banks are just, they're getting clobbered. People are defaulting, people are falling behind, and cars are repoing
Uh-huh.
more than ever. People overpaid for these cars, so now they're walking away from them. So the banks are really sketchy. So I would say the only way to probably pull it off without having to go to some horrible bank that would just, it wouldn't even be worth it. I would tell you to fix the credit first before doing anything. Do you have a car right now?
No.
So, and have you had a car loan recently or in the near past?
No, I had a car that was paid for a few years ago, but I haven't had a car loan in probably 4 years, 5 years, 6 years.
Yeah, so for sure, between the FICO score and not having an established car loan, a recent car loan, a good car payment history, the banks are just gonna, I'm just being realistic. They're going to almost absolutely insist on the cosigner. So what I wouldn't do is I wouldn't fly down there only to end up disappointed because getting a loan is going to be hard. Probably the first thing, but let me guess. You need a car right now, though, right?
Yes and no, and that's what I was going to get to next. I was going to ask you, would you think, because I kind of with the cosigner situation. Besides that, do you think I should go with more, putting like 10 grand down? Because I had a guy just tell me about a used Scat that he was like put 9 to 12 thousand down. I'm like, bro, I'll just go get a new one and give the dealership that money. But so I was thinking that because you said I seen in your video you said the banks are only paying off like 80% or giving out a loan for like 80% of the car. So us and the dealer have to come up with that other, the rest of that money, that 20%, so or whatever. But so I was thinking that, do you think I should just wait another few months? Because they have been dropping the prices like crazy too. I almost just got into a 22 used RT for 29 grand. And it was like a month and a half ago.
Yep.
And then they all drop down right now. So now a Scat out there is 31,600. So I'm like, I'm glad I didn't just sign that. So I'm kind of have to wait. So that's what I'm kind of just calling for. Should I wait? I mean, I kind of have the co-signer, but whether I have that or not,
Yep.
you're saying basically I'll get more money. They're going to want a bunch of money down before I just fly out there. Because I was going to book my flight literally. If you didn't write me back or, I was going to book my flight in a little bit. So now I'm not going to do that.
No, don't do that. And because the biggest thing is just the financing. So what I would do is first figure out what is it on your credit that is making it what it is right now. Is it late payments? What do you know what it is that's on your credit that's brought the score down?
Only thing that I see on there is a US Cellular bill, but it's 6 grand, and then an AT&T bill for like 2 grand. But everything else says zero.
Yeah. So, and are those two things on there? Are they behind?
Yeah, they're delinquent. They're past due. They're derogatory marks. They're behind.
And how old are those?
A few years. They're 2 years. 2 years for one of them, like a year and a half. Well, they're around the same time. I had like a problem. I have to dispute those actually because there was a problem with them. So I'm kind of working on that too. When you said work on the credit, that's what I wanted to ask you. Okay,
Yeah.
with the credit situation, I have people saying, I can fix your credit, I can get it raised 100 points, 50 points, pay me this payment plan. If I just had a 515 and I go I know it goes off of history also, but if I go into the dealership with a 600 or 700 credit score 30 days after I just had a 515, they're not going to look at me weird. I mean, they're still going to say, no, you don't have the history, no matter what your score is, but they're not going to look. Is that legal? I mean, I'm sure it's not illegal, but I'm like, is that legal that you can just raise my score like that? Whatever you're going to do.
Yeah,
Can you
yeah,
like dispute?
absolutely. So what they'll do is those two delinquent loans or whatever they are on your credit, and I'm guessing AT&T is probably like an old cell phone or something,
Yeah.
and then the other one, what's the other one?
USA, they're same thing, cell phones.
Okay, so cell phones. So the good news about those is they're old, which means they've already been written off by the creditor and they're at collection companies. So you're probably getting letters from collection companies periodically wanting to even settle those amounts, would be my guess.
Yes.
And you don't need anybody to do that for you. You don't need to pay anybody to do that for you. Since you're only 2 years in, you should address those now rather than just letting time run out on them, because they're going to keep reporting for the full 7 years. And if you're 2 years in, you're still at 5 years, those things hanging around your neck. So you've got to address those. Now the good news is regardless of the amounts, they're old and they're with collection companies, and those collection companies have already pretty much assumed that you're never going to pay them. So they're probably just bouncing you generic letters at this point. What I would do is, before I would go buying any car, because yes, even without a car loan history, there's companies that will give you a shot as long as you don't have negative credit. You're still going to pay a higher interest rate to establish yourself, but that's when you just buy a cheaper car and you put more money down. But right now, it might even be almost impossible to get the car loan without a cosigner. But the other challenge is you got these things just destroying your credit every day that they're on there. So what I would do is the next letter you get, or just run your credit and get the phone number for each of those collection companies that are dealing with those collections, which they're probably charge-offs at this point, or collections, and then just call them up, and call them during business hours, because after hours sometimes you end up getting an answering service or somebody who has no authority. So call during normal business hours and ask them straight up, listen, I don't have a lot of money. I don't have the ability to pay you $2,000. But here's the deal: is there an option right now where you guys would remove it from my credit if we work out a deal? And I mean completely remove it. And some of the collection companies, they don't care. They just want something, knowing they're going to get nothing.
Yeah.
And say, look, is there an option? And what they'll probably say is, well, we can't do that unless you pay the whole amount. Then you come back and say, okay, well, and just play it like, well, that sucks, too bad, well, thanks a lot. And they go, well, are you going to do something about this? Well, and say, look, I got I have $500 bills in my hand right now. I just, got paid back from a friend who owed me some money from a long time ago, and I thought I'd call you guys and try to settle this thing. If I gave you $500, could you guys report that where it's not going to hurt my credit? Because I need to buy, I would like to recover from this. Don't tell them you're going to buy a car, because then they'll know they got you held hostage. Don't tell them you're needing anything. Just say, I want to do the right thing to solve the problem. And then offer to pay $500. So if I paid you $500, could you guys delete it or flip it to paid as agreed? Could you do anything to at least help that report good? And that's what you want to ask both of those creditors, and find out what the number is. And if the number, let's say they come back and say, look, we'll go and remove it from your credit, or call it paid as agreed, if you pay 50%. So let's say it's $1,000. Then say, okay, can I pay you $500 now, and $100 a month for the next 5 months, and will you get it to me in writing before I make you any payment? Never make a payment to these guys unless you get something in writing on their letterhead. They can email it to you, fax it to you, I don't care what they do, carrier pigeon it to you, but you get that thing in writing, and then agree to their deal. So it's $500 down, $100 a month, pay $1,000, you'll take it off my credit. If you try all of that and they say, the best we can do is we'll settle for $500, but it's just going to go to be a paid charge off, then screw it. do it. If you're getting out for 20 to 25% of the balance they're saying you owed, which is usually interest and penalties and everything else, pay it and get a paid charge-off. And believe me, I hate paid charge-offs. They're your credit's still going to be hurt, but at least your score is going to bounce. And every month that goes by that distances you from that event, it's going to go up even more. I do the same thing with the other one, and that's where I'd put my money right now rather than put it into a car. I would knock those two things, get those two things solved. And rather than dispute, because the only dispute you might have is like on what the balance is, not necessarily the actual debt. If the debt is not you, then definitely dispute it. But if you know it's you, it's just the balance is ridiculous, negotiate that down to 20 to 25% and exit stage left. Get those things off of your credit. Go to myfico.com and pay the $30 a month and watch your credit. Watch those things transition over. As soon as they go to pay charge off, that's when you message me. I'll set you up with the credit cleanup lady that I have, and she will start disputing the hell out of that thing. And she doesn't charge ridiculous money. She's very reasonable, and she takes payments and everything else. So she's very reasonable. I'm talking like $100 a month or something. She'll make your credit amazing, and she will dispute the daylights out of those things and try to get them off. And if she can get them off, then your credit's going to bounce. In the meantime, you want to get something on your credit to establish. You want to establish your credit. So, do you have any credit cards?
I was going to ask that. I was going to get a $200. I don't know if it's unsecured or secured. I'm 30, but I'm used to. I did a lot of messing up. Not a lot of messing up when I was younger, but I'm getting on track now. So I seen it where it says unsecured. You pay the $200 and then pay the spend about $40 a month and then pay it back. Yeah. I was going to do that. So now that I'm talking to you and you just gave me all that advice, that is my next thing. I was taking notes. Get it in writing for both the payment plans for both the phone companies. Get that taken care of.
Yep.
Downloaded my FICO, pay that, because I was on there the other day. I just didn't pay it. I was like, let me check, because I didn't know if it was. But get the my FICO thing.
Yep.
Get those paid off. Message you, and you can help me with the credit cleanup lady. And then now, did you want me to do that if they got it off or if they didn't?
Whatever the outcome is. Matter of fact, feel free to email me and say, if they tell you they'll delete it or change it to paid as agreed, get it in writing and then pay them. You're golden at that point. But if they tell you, because then you've got that letter which you can send to the credit bureaus and get that thing changed over. But if they say we can't do anything, we can only do paid charge off. But then make sure the amount's as slow as you can go. And I mean, pretend that you are like barely able to eat every day. You've got to tell these people that you just, I got $500, and that's not telling them. I got $500. That's the best I can do. If you're willing to delete it, I'll go borrow from my family to try and get you something, and make payments to you. But if it's still going to hurt my credit, I just want to try to do the right thing by you guys. And believe me, at this point, they bought that debt for like 10 cents on the dollar. So, if that debt they bought was $2,000, they bought that debt for $200. They're still making $500 on that money. The creditor's already written it off and taken the tax break. So you should get out for about 20 to 25% of the balance they say you owe, if you hold really firm. Now, they may say, nope, we can't do anything. And you may need to play a little bit of hardball and call back again like 2 weeks later and get a different rep, which I've done. And I get a different rep who, was able to pull something off. So, but let me know what you find out with those two things. The biggest thing is get those two solved. Then to reestablish, go Google, but you can go to Capital One. I'm thinking, God, I can't think all the names of the credit cards, but
that was the credit card I was about to get, the Capital One. I was about to get, it was I have the Credit Karma app and it popped up, but I know it's just like an ad, but I was just like, hey, that's what kind of got me, was like unsecured, secured. I read it. It was like, you get your money back after a year if they approve you after a year or 10 months. But I'm staying with the parents right now. I'm saving up. So Good. That is my next thing. I'm going to pay those phones off because that is what's hurting. My mom just asked me that. What's hurting your credit? Why can't you get the car yourself? I'm like, well, I don't know. And I looked at Credit Karma, and it's two U.S. Cellular, AT&T. So that's what I'm going. I'm going to call them right now.
Yep.
I
And
want my car. I'm not in a rush, but I'm not. Bless you. I'm not in a rush, but I'm not. I don't want to wait too much longer.
and think of it like this: it's business. It ain't personal. Whatever happened to you a few years ago, like you said, I messed up. Dude, you messed up when you were young. I messed up when I was old. I mean, listen, messing up is not exclusive to anybody, and anybody who judges you on that, they're probably if they haven't screwed up yet, they're about to screw up. This world is designed to let us drown ourselves if if we let them. I mean, there's just no way around it. And bad things happen to good people. Things get behind. I went down in flames for almost $1 million. Geez, back in 2008.
Wow.
And I can tell you want to stay up at night staring at the ceiling, contemplating exiting the planet. I mean, it's rough stuff. But so these are two small things. I mean, these are like, you're going to call a collection company that bought that debt. You don't have to tell them you know this, but bought that debt for maybe 5 cents on the dollar. I mean, who knows? At this point, it's like, it's bad. It's bad. It's a non-performing asset for them. But the second you pop your head up and say, I'll give you something, they're looking at nothing. You could tell them, look, I'm a young guy. You got 5 more years. This thing's going to have to come off my credit anyways. Well, no, we can re-report. We can do this. We can sue you. Yeah, good luck. You can sue me. I don't have anything. I have $500 bills in my hand right now. And then you're going to call the other guy and tell him the same thing. And just wrestle with them. Consider it a challenge. Get those solved. Get the Capital One card. Try to apply for and there's a lot of banks out there that'll do soft pulls. The nice thing about when you do My FICO is it's going to give you options too, based on your credit profile of credit card companies you can go to. Because you do want to get one, and you do want to keep that balance. And even though they say 30%, you're really looking at keeping that balance down to around 10 or 15% at the most. So if you get so let's say you get a $300 credit card, go charge $30 on it, and or $40 on it, and literally just keep paying the minimum payment every single month, and it's going to come back. And if there is, let's say minimum payments like $15 a month, just pay that. It takes 6 months, really about 6 months, for these things to rate, and then they're going to start, especially if you get those other two things off, then you're going to go back and you're going to ask Capital One to rerun you and try to give you a credit limit increase. But these are all things after you solve those two other problems. Reestablish your credit, and then get your FICO. Then watch your My FICO account and watch your credit score start to bounce up. The nice thing is it's easier to bounce from 515 to 650 than it is to get from 650 to 750. At least in my experience, because whatever's banging you for the 515 score is bad stuff. That when that bad stuff goes away, you're going to skyrocket. Up in the sixes. Once you're in the 620, 630 range, you're going to be able to get financed on your own without a lot of credit history. You're going to want to try to go to a credit union, open an account with, whatever your local credit union is, and they'll take chances with you as long as your credit's not bad. You can have very little credit, and then they'll give you a credit card too. But just get those two things solved, and then wait. Because right now, the interest they would, if you could find a bank to do you, the interest they're going to charge you, I mean, it's going to be a third of. It's not even worth it, dude. It's just you're going to be burying yourself in more problems. And then if your mom or somebody was to co-sign, that would help you. That would help you reestablish. But the challenge you have is those two things are still going to be hanging around your head. So you need to. If you got the money to put down, get rid of those two problems, because you're either going to pay those two problems off, or you're going to pay massive interest and still have those two problems hanging around your neck for the next 5 years. So solve those two things. Don't fly to Florida. I was just there. I'm actually in Orange County, California, but doesn't matter where you go to get the car. When you're ready to buy the car, then send me another message. Tell me what you're looking for, and I will find that car, and I'll make them do the deal on the phone, because it's hard to get them to do the deal on the phone. They want you in the dealership with them. But sometimes a little bit of forcefulness and saying all the right things, you can get them tied to the sale. And the biggest thing is get them tied to the sale. Every time I bought a car over the phone, I've said, here's the deal. At the end of this call, I want you to send me a purchase agreement. I want you to send me a commitment on the price, and I'm going to plan my trip. Like, the deal's done. You will have a car sale today. If you want me to sign the papers today, I will. And then, subject to me, of course, taking delivery. And, but we just need to agree on a price. So when you do a deal on the phone, you want to make them know that you are so absolutely ready to pull the trigger. I am a commission waiting to happen. It's going to happen today. You are going to get the sale. I'm not just a looky-loo. And sometimes it just takes a little bit extra dancing with them to get them to see that.
That's why I wrote you first, because I was like, you said that in a couple of your videos. So you like, don't go in there, don't call unless you're serious about going. So don't call or even go up there unless you're serious about, because they can still just give you the runaround. Even when watching you guys' videos, when you go in there and talk to the guys, they can say whatever they want. They can tell us whatever they want, but when somebody actually sits down and do paperwork, it could all change. So I have one more question. Your time. One more question.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not in a rush to get a car, but I kind of am. Would this be a good suggestion or not? Because you have experience, but I was going to go put down money on $1,000 on like a 2011 Chargers, like 10 grand, and the payments are pretty cheap, just to have something to move around for the next, whatever. But now that I just got the info from you, I'm thinking, my mind's just kind of working a little bit, but would it be a bad idea to go get that car, driving for 6 months, pay off the phones, get the My FICO, and even get back with your lady, your credit lady, and then go trade that car in?
Yeah.
Would that be it?
Yeah. So first thing, let's find out. I would find out whether you can get out from underneath those two credit issues. If you can solve those, this week, and you at least have a disposition, so look, they're gonna, one of the creditors, let's say one of them says, we want the whole amount, and it's going to be a paid charge off. Well, that's going to delay your decision, because for you to pay the whole amount and still have a paid charge off, that probably isn't a good option.
Not worth it.
I mean, it like, you want it off, but that means you got somebody on the phone that's playing hardball with you. So you may want to wait a week or two and call back in and talk to a manager and tell that manager that, look, I am in a tough spot. I've got a hangnail. I've got medical conditions related to Taco Bell last night. I need to get out of this thing for $500. I'm helping my family right now. Times are tough. My job's messed up. Give him all that. My dog died, and my cat ate my goldfish.
Exactly.
I mean, you give them all that stuff, and then try to get them, because remember, it's a full-on sales pitch you're doing with this creditor, and then get them to go to a lower amount. If they won't, it just may take some time. It may take a few weeks for you to go back and get a manager on the phone or something, and wait till they send you another offer in the mail to see if the offer is going to be less money. So sometimes they do. They'll say, we'll accept $695 if you call today, and so you may have to wait for that stuff. But once you know where you stand with that, if you know that they're going to come off your credit now, and let's say they do agree to take like $500 or 25%, and it's still going to show as a paid charge off, but at least still show as paid, then I would probably wait for that to report, which is why you want to have that My FICO subscription, because as soon as it reports and the status changes, you'll probably get a small bump in your FICO score. It's very possible. I mean, it won't be huge, but you'll probably get at least some bump. If you're lucky, who knows? Maybe it bounces to 600. Maybe it only bounces to 550. But either way, at least it's going in the right direction. And at least when you apply for the car, it shows that those have been resolved, which is what the bank will likely want to see if they're going to loan to you, is that you resolved your past debts. You're on the road to recovery. And then also this week or next week, go find a credit union in your local area, and do you have any military in your family?
No.
Okay, so find
not my immediate. Yeah,
Yeah,
not in my immediate thing.
yeah. As I say, because if you can get on USA, they're great. But or Navy Federal, I mean. But go find a credit union. You know, there's all kinds of credit unions that, you know, you don't have to be a teacher, you don't have to be anything, just public, you know, credit union, and join a credit union. And here's what you do: you take $100 and you open an account with the credit union. That's it. That's all you got to do. Go in there and say, I just want to open a bank. I want to become a member, and I'm rebuilding my life, and I've got advice to come to this credit union. And go in there and start a new account for $100, and put that into the checking account, and, you know, maybe throw another 100 in a savings account. So you've got savings and checking, and you've got your credit union set up. Now, work on those two things, get those two things solved, and then before you go buy a car, apply at the credit union once those things show paid off. And then if the credit union doesn't approve you, you know you're probably gonna not get approved at the dealership. So you're probably gonna need your cosigner. You'd be better off having a cosigner with the credit union than you would with the dealership, because the dealership's going to bump the rate on you. So at the very least, if you have a credit union, you can take your cosigner and go in there and get the loan, and probably still get a much better interest rate and a better loan all the way around. And then I would do that deal. So the long answer is, I would do that deal. But I would first get those two things solved, and then at least know where you stand with those, and then get a credit union, and then apply at the credit union. And then if the credit union says no, have your cosigner cosign, get pre-approved, buy a $10,000 car, put $1,000 or $2,000 down. You figure no matter what, you're gonna lose some money on that car. So expect that you're gonna have to pay that car loan down by half to be able to get out of it when you want to get out of it, and that would take you about 6 months. And that's why you want the cosigner, or you want at least to get a credit union loan, so you get simple interest, you're paying that loan down every single month. And then you'll have established a car loan, and then it's a lot easier to make a jump to a $20,000 loan or $25,000 loan at that point. So I think it's a great idea, but those two things, you solve those two things, you will be on a path to complete recovery from
Life will be much.
yeah. And then just don't let them do it to you again. Don't let them do it to you again. And when they give you that credit card, I'm telling you, dude, literally charge like $40 on it and cut that effing thing up. Because, you know, you're going to be out with your buddies and you're going to be like, screw it, I'll just put on the
Is it
card.
$40? Okay, so I can ask you, is it $40 every month, or is it $40 once and then just pay it back?
Yeah, so if you've got a $300 credit limit, then I would charge $40 or $50, and I would just, whatever the minimum payment is, the minimum payment might be, because remember they're charging a 30% interest, so it's minimum payment might be $19 a month or something like that, and just pay the minimum payment on that. You may end up wanting to, depending on how it fleshes out, just keep a little running balance on there. That way it's reporting that you're paying a payment every single month on time for 6 months. But you don't want to.
I was asking, do I spend that $40 each month? Like each first, do I spend like?
Nope. Do one charge. Matter of fact, you can go do one charge for, let's just say, you know, we'll go with the 30%, because it's such a low credit balance that a low balance on the card might trigger a no payment due or something. But let's say you went and bought something for $100 at the very most. Pay the minimum, then take that card and lock it up and don't take it out again, and pay the minimum payment on that card. Now, here's what's likely going to happen. You probably won't have to make a charge, because most of these kinds of cards have a immediate upfront annual fee that they nail you with that gets charged to the card. So it's a very strong likelihood that the second you apply and get approved for, let's say, a $300 balance or $300 limit, they're going to hit you with a $50 or $100 annual fee, and they'll charge that straight to the card. Right there, you have a balance. I would probably pay that down to whatever it is. Let's say it's $100. Pay it down to like $75, and then make the minimum payment for the next 6 months. And then at the end of the 6 months, pay the thing off. At the end of the 6th reporting period, not 6 months, 6th reporting period. That's why you want to be looking at my FICO. You want to see 6 perfect payments on that thing. And then after that, you can pay that thing off. But you're only going to charge one time. But probably the annual fee is already going to get charged on there. And you can just make payments on that.
Okay, 6 months of perfect payments, then pay the total balance at the end of 6 months of perfect payments. I'm putting notes down. I'm writing notes
Yeah.
down.
And then,
So,
I'll tell you right now, the whole world's going to want to give you credit cards. And then you just got to, repeat after me. I will not get any more credit cards. Capital One's great because Capital One will migrate you to their better cards. Their better cards with more perks and benefits. They'll migrate you off of those starter cards into their better cards as you build a relationship with them.
okay, no more credit cards after this. I put that in capital letters. So no more credit cards.
Let me tell you, messing up when you're young is one thing. Messing up when you're old is not. It's not as much fun.
You kind of shook me back when you said that. Like, I messed up when I was old, so I have a little. I still have faith though. Everything happens for a reason. As long as it was a learning experience from me, I'm good. I'm still doing okay. So
Yeah.
I'm just going with the flow, trying to make the best decisions I can now. So I'm not going backwards. I'm trying to go forward and keep going forward. So
I mean, look, I want to see you in that car. I just want to see you in that car where you're not 3 months into those, stupid payments and never paying the thing off because the banks are nailing you. Let's get that credit squared away. And by the way, good news, there's going to be plenty of used Scat packs out there that you can buy for even cheaper. You're going to be great. And maybe even by the time you're ready to pull the trigger, interest rates will at least soften a little bit too. So, and then with your good credit, you'll be great. So, yeah, I would slow your roll. No need to go out there and do it now. You're young, dude. You're going to get plenty of time. You'll have the great credit. So
that's what I was doing. I was kind of rushing. I was in here actually just kind of mad because I'm trying to get a ride somewhere. I'm about to pay for an Uber, a Lyft. My friend that stays an hour away is like, I'll come, but I need some gas. It's like, but I'm taking it slow. I promise you I'm going to take it slow. And I will be getting back in contact with you and telling you and updating you on all these things you just told me to do. So please keep me, or be looking out for my emails because I will be. You said it's going to take a week or two to even talk to these people. I'm literally going to call them when I get off the phone with you to start this process of playing ball and get the ball rolling because I'm ready to get it rolling and I don't really have to. I have time, but I don't have time to waste out here. I have a 9-year-old, so
yeah,
I'm getting to it. Appreciate you so much. I really do. I didn't even think you would probably call or even see the email, but you got me excited. I was not a bad mood, but I'm in a way better mood now. So I really appreciate you so much. I got a lot of great advice from you.
No, you'll be good, dude. And I'll put this video up later on today. So later on tonight, and it'll probably help. Hopefully, I'll help some other people. And you got plenty of time left. And your most important thing is that 9-year-old, man. So you're doing the right thing.
Sure. I appreciate it so much, and I'll be looking forward to the video coming up. And you have a blessed day, and you drive safe out there.
Thanks, man. Take care. See you.
You too. I'll talk to you soon. Have a great one.
You too. Bye-bye. All right, folks. Hopefully this helps somebody, and what a great guy to let me record this and share it with all of you. And I think he's got a good plan. And, let me know in the comments what you think about the plan. I think buying a car right now was not a good decision. I think getting his universe squared away, which has got minor problems he's got to fix, and then buying when the time is right. And time is his friend right now. So with that, everybody, please like, subscribe, of course, comment, share this video with anybody you think it can help, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye-bye.